So this first module, excuse me, is all about introducing and becoming familiar with your limiting beliefs. So I think it's necessary to talk about how heavily our mindset and our beliefs shape how we interact with and deal with money. So believe it or not, your unconscious habits and your beliefs are shaping your experience and your reality. And that is true for everything in life, not just money. So let's dive into what a limiting belief around money looks like so that you can start to become familiar with your own and identify how it's showing up and playing out in your life. So, all right, a limiting belief around money can take many forms. And anyone can have any number of beliefs about what they're capable of having, what they're capable of achieving, what they're capable of doing. So some examples might be, these are the ones that I hear most often, and these are ones that I have struggled with on my own, but this is what I hear the most is there's never enough to go around. There's never enough in my reality. I have to work really hard doing something I don't want to do in order to have money. The harder I work, the more I get. It's easy for those types of people to get ahead, but hard for me. In my type of career path, no one has money. The only way to get money is to sell your soul. People who have money are greedy. Having money makes me greedy. So as I list those out, I just want you to think about whether or not those pertain to you. Did you agree, or did you find yourself nodding like, oh yeah, that's kind of how I think about that. That's what I feel. And just realize which beliefs you hold about money. How do you believe money behaves for you? Who do you think gets to have it, right? Is it them that get to have money, or is it I am a person who can have money? I'm a person who can be successful. And so here's the rub. We have to pay attention to our beliefs without judgment. Like anything, when we attach a judgment to it, it becomes sticky, it becomes hard to work with. But when we just pay attention to our beliefs without that, with just curiosity rather than judgment, it becomes much easier to work with. So that's kind of the goal for this lesson, is just to think about to realize what your beliefs are, or your limiting beliefs are around money, right? Are they either preventing you from achieving your potential, or are they helping you? Are you one of those people who believes that money is unlimited and that you get to achieve it, you get to have it through what you love doing? If not, that would be the majority of us. But if not, then you have some beliefs that need to be worked through and rearranged. But just like any belief, what is a belief? It's a thought. It's a group of thoughts that you have returned to over and over and over again that you believe to be true. That's all. Is a belief truth? Definitely not. So we'll get into we'll explore and uncover this topic a little bit more as we go on. But what I want you to realize is that your belief on this subject is what crafts your reality, right? Not the other way around. So if you're living from this place of scarcity, from this place of never enough, from this place of, is this going to work out? Questioning. That is what you're going to see in your reality. If you're operating from a place of abundance, everything is working out in my favor. It's this or something better. I am one of those people who can achieve career success, who can achieve financial abundance doing what I love. Then you're in a place to receive that. So just reflect. If this seems really like esoteric and out there, we'll get into the nitty gritty in a moment, but just reflect on for a moment what your beliefs are. So I think it's important to talk about where our beliefs come from, right? So that we're not hanging out in judgment. It's really easy to identify a belief and then get upset with ourselves for holding a particular belief. Most of the time, our beliefs about money our beliefs about our financial abilities is a response from what we've internalized from society at large. It's how it's something that we've accustomed ourselves to thinking because the people around us think that way. It's really as simple as that. So some of the most common narratives that are perpetuated throughout American middle class, upper middle class culture is the harder you work, the more you get ahead. The more you push through, the more you get. Rich people are greedy. What does that even mean though? What is a rich person, right? What is someone who has wealth? Everyone defines it differently. How you define something is going to be completely different from how your neighbor defines something, from how the person down the street defines it, right? So that's kind of what I want to get at here, is that this reality is quite subjective. And what we believe is what we get, is what becomes true for us. So if it's subjective, then there's room to change. And there's room to get in there and work with it, right? So a lot of our money values are, they're passed on. They're passed on within certain segments of society. They're passed on from parent to child, from school, from your community, in your socioeconomic circle. And then you believe it, right? We believe it without even questioning it. But that's what I want you to do today, is to start questioning. Like, start questioning your reality with money. Start questioning how it gets to be for you. So another way financial stress or anxiety around money can be passed along is through family, right? That's a big one. Through internalized beliefs we got from our parents. So if you grew up in a home where there was a lot of conversation around never having enough, around lack, around needing more to meet your basic needs, this is taught to you from a very young age, that money is hard to come by, that there's this overall feeling of anxiety around money in general and possessing money and who gets to have it. And so again, like my whole process is just introduce, reflect. So that's what I'd like for you to reflect on right now, is what are some money beliefs that you have inherited from your parents? And just see what it is, right? Think about the messages, but most importantly, think about the feeling and your experience with money as a child. And just let yourself be there for a second. What, if any, of those messages have you taken with you into adulthood? Maybe you're really good at rejecting your parents' way of life or reality. Maybe you've taken with you some parts of their financial well-being that benefit you. But really, my goal here is not to create shame around your experience, but rather to bring awareness from it. So much of who we are and how we operate happens at the unconscious level, and we just buy into these patterns because that's just how things are. But really, when you bring awareness to it, you're much more able to craft your reality. And so like that's the key here, is to bring awareness and to recognize the people, the situations, the community perceptions, your parents' perceptions of money that shaped how you view it today. Okay? So all of this is to say, mindset is malleable, okay? Mindset is malleable. So I want you to start opening yourself up to the idea that your mindset, your beliefs, and therefore your reality are not as fixed as you might think. This is like a concept that we explore all the time. Therapy and in the world of psychology and mental health is that your thoughts about your reality might not actually be accurate. And so if that can be true about your mental health, then this can also be true about your financial reality too. But before we dive even deeper, I think it's important to talk about scarcity mindset, okay? What does it mean and how does it craft our reality? So scarcity, like just thinking about that word, what does it evoke for you, right? For me, it is a feeling of not having enough. It's a feeling of being limited. It evokes fear and it's scary. And when you embody this feeling, you make decisions from a place of lack, from a place of not having enough, as opposed to enough. So a mindset of scarcity, a mindset of lacking can be really tough to work through, right? When you constantly feel like there's never enough, you are going to quite literally feel, and your reality is going to reflect back to you, not enough, right? Your job is going to be never enough. Your financial situation will reflect lack right back to you. So I want you to start thinking about this idea that whether you're consciously aware of it or not, you are creating your reality through your thoughts, right? And this is true for our financial reality. You're creating feelings of anxiety through your thoughts of not having enough. You're creating stress through that feeling of, I need more to be happy, through everything that passes through your mind and what you choose to believe. So now that you've identified some beliefs you hold around money, we move into the deconstruction phase, right? This idea comes up a lot in my work. How do we go about deconstructing an idea that you've held to be true, you believe, and then you get it, you see it, your reality reflects this because you believe it to be true. So how do we decouple this, right? A lot of the times it's work hard and grind to earn, or the harder you work, the more you earn. Like, do you believe that to be true? I'd like you to ask yourself those things. But let's poke some holes in these beliefs that we hold, okay? Let's start deconstructing them. So for a second, if this reality were true, the harder I work, the more I earn, then billionaires would be the hardest working people on the planet. And the people who earn minimum wage would be working the least. Well, we obviously know this is not true, right? People working minimum wage often work harder than any professional I know who's in a white collar job, right? Really, if this mindset were to hold up, then our billionaires on this planet would be working, I don't know what the exact percentage of wealth disparity is between the lowest earners and the highest earners, but hundreds of thousands of times harder than a person working minimum wage. But we know that's not true. So if you believe that you can only earn money through hard work, you're setting yourself up to receive money only when you're grinding, only when you're working hard, which of course creates a world and reality where you're capped by how hard you can work. And this is a major source of stress. This is huge, right? This idea that in order to keep up, we have to grind and hustle and keep up with the Joneses and partake in the rat race. And it's this invisible force that keeps us locked into a career, depending on working harder and harder and harder and harder until one day, hopefully while you're young enough to enjoy it, reach retirement, and then you can sit on a beach drinking a margarita, enjoying the money that you've amassed during your career. But if you're anything like me, or if you're somebody who just questions the nature of your reality, then you might be thinking there's got to be another way. What is that other way? That other way is your mindset. Okay, but let's talk about what that is. So before we get into that, before we explore that further, before we go on to the next module, I'd like you to ask yourself and reflect on some of these questions. So they're posted here as homework for this module, but I'll just quickly share them with you so that you can start thinking about them on your own. So the first one is, what are your beliefs about money? What are your family's beliefs about money? What do you believe to be true that you can have versus what you can't have? And just reflect on the feelings that come up when you think about money and career and what you're capable of having. Okay? Just spend some time journaling that out. When you're ready, I'll see you in the next module.